Hello again everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. We have returned in this random pit of fire, which... what's it even doing here? Where... I'm not even going to ask why there's a random pit of fire in Redcliffe, but yeah. We got a quest in the last episode to deliver some lyrium potions to Commander Harith, and I believe we do have enough lyrium potions. So we might as well go and do that while we are present in Redcliffe. At least finally we can actually do something with Commander Harith, as opposed to him just constantly telling us to move along, which makes a big difference. Either way, we shall head up here to the windmill where Harith should be waiting if my character can figure out how to climb upstairs.
Move along, friend.
There you go.
Oh, wonderful. I always appreciate correspondence from my upstanding friends in the Collective. On behalf of myself and my men, I thank you. I'll make sure the Collective's generosity is reciprocated. On your way now.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Now we might as well go and turn this in again. So, yeah. In the last few episodes we managed to get... obviously, the mages are now on our side. The elves are now on our side. The whole Dalish clans. We almost have Redcliffe on our side on Al-Eamon, but Al-Eamon kind of needs to be healed. Is there anything on this board?
Very well.
No, there is nothing. Yeah, Al-Eamon needs to be awoken from his slumber since he's desperately ill. Why is there so much fire? I honestly don't know what's going on. But to do that, we obviously need to find the urn of sacred ashes, which...
The Mages Collective thanks you.
Thank you very much. 1 gold. That'll do me fine. And the urn of sacred ashes, we don't know where it is. That's obviously why we're on a quest for it. I need to go back this way as well. It's not getting up that way. But... we can get information in Denerim. I was wondering what I was going to say there. It took me far too long. But what's the guy's name we need to talk to? Again? Brother Genitivi, to be specific, is the person we need to speak to. He's apparently been doing some digging, and he may have some information for us. But I think the next place we're going to go is we're going to go to Orzammar, as opposed to Denerim, and we'll leave Denerim to last since it is the capital and such. Although I do actually need to go back to the camp very quickly because Wynne said she had something to talk to us about in regards to her kind of collapsing while we were out in the field, which doesn't sound overly good, but we'll see. I hope it doesn't mean that we have to stop taking her around, because she's very useful, is Wynne. I don't know why I'm actually walking around either, because I can just leave this way. So I don't know why I'm doing that. So let's head to the party camp first. And we'll see what we can find out from her.
I think I owe you an explanation for what happened earlier.
Maybe just.
You should know that something happened to me at the tower before you came along.
Really?
You spoke to Pedra, did you not? She told you I saved her from a demon. I did, but I did not survive that encounter.
But you're standing right here.
Let me explain fully.
I
engaged a very powerful demon to rescue Pedra. It sapped me of all my energy and will and left me drained. It took everything I had to defeat it. And when I was done, I no longer had the strength to keep my heart beating. I remember my life ebbing away. Everything receded from me. Sound, light. I remember being enveloped in complete, impenetrable darkness. And then I sensed a presence enfolding me and cradling me, whispering quietly to me.
What's on earth?
The sensation is impossible to describe. I was being held back firmly but gently as a mother would a child, eager to slip from her grasp. I felt life and warmth flowing through my veins again. I began to be aware of small sounds and the discomfort of my hip pressing into the cold stone of the tower floor.
So you never really completed it then?
The Fade contains spirits both benevolent and malicious. The benevolent spirits seldom make themselves known, because they want nothing from mortals, unlike the demons. It was one of these spirits that saved me. Without it, I would be
Oh,
dead.
wow.
And it has not left me. It is with me, even now, bonded to me. You see, I am supposed to be dead. It is the spirit that is keeping me in this world. And this is not the way of things. Perhaps the spirit did not expect this, but it is weakening gradually. I am living on borrowed time.
Oh, Win. How long will the spirit last?
I do not know. I can feel when the spirit weakens, so I should have fair warning. But come, let us not talk about this. There is time yet.
Wow, so Win is actually
What's on your mind?
kind of with the demons. Why the spirit choose to help you?
I have always had an affinity for the spirits of the Fade. As a child, I never feared my dreams because I knew they were there.
What about demons?
I could sense the demons, too, and their presence frightened me. It was the kindly spirits of the Fade that took the fear from me. I've always been able to feel the spirits, even if I never saw them. And as I nurtured my talent in the circle, I became more sensitive. I began to notice every time I was in the Fade, whether it was in a dream or in magical practice, that I was being watched.
Do spirits watch people like that?
I suppose they must. It is these benevolent spirits that create our dream worlds in the Fade. Sometimes I would see it, a glowing, nebulous form. Most times I would just feel its presence, gentle and comforting, but somehow alien. I think it is a spirit of faith. They have never been seen before, and perhaps I am wrong. But something tells me I'm not. It always felt like the same entity. This one spirit was curious about me, and was guarding me, for want of a better word.
Huh. You're very lucky.
There were times when I was in the Fade that it seemed to stretch forth to shield me, keeping me safe. And I think it gave me strength in my most terrible battles, Ostagar being one of them.
So this spirit of faith is your personal protector?
I don't know why I was chosen. Perhaps it knew that there was something more that lay in store for me. I like to think that I was given a rare chance, and I'm going to make the best of the time so generously given to me.
I'm glad you think traveling with me is worthy of your
I
time.
will not lie motionless in a bed with coverlets up to my chin, waiting for death to claim me. That is not the death for me. And so I will fight alongside the Grey Warden, and help prepare him for the task that is yet before him. So you had better listen to me, because I swear, if I should fall before the end and you don't seem to be doing things properly, I'll get up again to give you a good finger wagging.
I'll hold you to that promise.
You know, I think you'll be all right, even without my help.
Good old Win.
What's on your mind?
Is something we can do to cure you?
Cure me? What, am I sick now?
In a sense.
Even you know that you cannot cure the dead. And I'm not the only one dying. You are too. I'm just more efficient about it. Ah, child. Your concern is heartwarming. But death comes to everyone, and it is not something to fear.
You're not afraid?
People fear not death, but having life taken from them. Many waste the life given to them, occupying themselves with things that do not matter. When the end comes, they say they did not have time enough to spend with loved ones, to fulfill dreams, to go on adventures they only talked about. But why should you fear death if you are happy with the life you have led? If you can look back on everything and say, yes, I am content. It is enough.
Are you content?
I think I've led a good life. A full life. And I, for one, am not afraid of death, whatever it may bring. They say that when you die, your spirit travels through the Fade and returns to the Maker. And after that, we'll see, won't we?
Fair enough.
What's on your mind?
Do you have any regrets at all?
I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life. Made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else.
What's this all about? What did you do?
Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Anarin. He was my first apprentice. Anarin was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority.
I can say this could be trouble.
What Anarin needed was time. Time to get used to his new home, time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him, too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential, just to be difficult.
That just seems so unlike you.
Age and wisdom have mellowed me. I was quite different back then. Much more unforgiving. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed. And I learned that too late to help him.
What happened to Anarin?
Anarin ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down.
Oh, who hunted him down?
The Templars. That is what they do. They hunt down and neutralize rogue mages. They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him.
It's not your fault, Win.
I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed Anarin. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves.
Maybe he did find the Dalish.
The Templars are well-trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Anarin benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student.
See, there is a bright side.
And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
New quest wins regret. So there might be a chance that Anarin might still be alive. Could he be in the Dalish camp? Maybe.
What's on your mind?
It's current talking to Win. Just thinking about being a Grey Warden.
Is something troubling you?
I don't know, it's just difficult sometimes.
You are one of the 2 surviving Grey Wardens in Ferelden. You defend all of us, and much rests on your shoulders. It may not mean much to you, but thank you for having the courage to continue to fight.
I'll be ready when the time comes.
And that gives me hope. Have you heard much about the Grey Wardens of old?
I know they were more respected in the old days.
It was said that watching the Wardens ride in on their white griffins was enough to rouse a weary heart. and put the dance back in the step of an old man. The Grey Wardens were powerful, feared and respected, but they also inspired the common people. I remember a tale that was told to me many years ago.
Go on.
The Blight had ravaged the land for months, and the armies of the great kings had amassed for one last stand. As the sun burst through the clouds that boiled and churned in the dark sky above, it illuminated a vast, seething horde of darkspawn, with the archdemon at its head. And it was then, when courage seemed to fail, and all lost to death and despair, that the Grey Wardens came. They arrived with the beating of wings like mighty war drums, and stood before the armies of men.
What happened then?
The Grey Wardens, grim and fearless, marched forth, ever between the men and the encroaching darkspawn. They formed a shield of their own bodies and held that line until the archdemon was dead, and the last darkspawn lay trampled in the dirt. And then, demanding neither reward nor recognition for their sacrifice, the Grey Wardens departed. When the clouds finally rolled back, and the sun shone full upon the blighted ground, the great kings knew that they had lost no men, and none of their blood had been spilled.
I like happy endings.
This is a tale about no battle the Grey Wardens have fought, and yet about them all. They have always defended us from the Darkspawn, taking losses so we do not have to. People may have forgotten over the centuries, but nothing has changed. This knowledge has been blessing and burden to Grey Wardens past, and now it shall be your blessing and your burden.
Very philosophical there, Win.
What's on your mind?
Good story, though. As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
You go blunt. I could try, but it wouldn't work.
No, it wouldn't, would it? Being a Grey Warden is in your blood now. You can't escape it. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
And this upset you?
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything?
I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things, but she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason, and fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better?
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15. Maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
I suppose priests have to give up a lot too.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty, and there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
Would you hear I said you were full of rubbish? Won't be easy to live that way.
You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
True.
What's on your
Very
mind?
true. Let's ask you something about this.
I will answer to the best of my ability.
Nah, that's for everything. Okie dokie. Well, very insightful from Wynn there. So at least we have a quest about Enerin. He could be alive, who knows? Can we speak to anybody else while we're here?
I was just thinking about what happened to the elves, and I'm reminded of a song sung to me many years ago. It was when my mother died, and this wise elven woman comforted me and told me that we shouldn't fear death or hate it. Death is just another beginning. One day, we must all shed our earthly bodies to allow our spirits to fly free.
That is comforting.
It's a beautiful sentiment, I think. One that brings peace and hope to the grieving.
Oh, Leanna's going to sing for us. Even Morrigan's... No, Morrigan's not having it. Oh, Sten. That was really nice. That was lovely. I like that.
Something I can help with?
That was beautiful.
Yes?
Can I speak to her about anything else?
What's on your mind?
No, she probably hasn't heard anything else. Alistair, can I speak to her about anything?
Something on your mind?
No, I don't think it works with him. Sten?
You called. I am hardly surprised. Very well.
I think I've asked him about everything, actually.
Speak, then. Then I suggest we move on. As you wish.
Okay. Morrigan, perhaps?
I await your command.
Don't think so. Oh wait, we have a new emissary as well from the elves, I'm assuming. Oh dear.
You witnessed the rarest of things, Warden. The Dalish stand ready to defend Ferelden.
Do you need anything?
We have assembled on a short schedule. Certain factors of equipment could be better. Crafting components would serve best. Basic ones like elf root and deep mushroom.
Certain crafting materials for the Dalish. You can have deep mushrooms. You can have some death roots as well.
Generous as always, Warden.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't want to give them my elf roots. Oh, I could do, I suppose, but you know. Zevran?
Here I am. I'm still thinking about it. I don't...
Alright.
Here I am. Oh, this should be good.
Nope. Just having a wander around, see if there's anybody who can actually speak to. Shale's probably not got much to say, to be honest. How's her inventory looking? Okie dokie. Well, I think we shall end the episode here. Actually, I know not a lot happened, but it's always nice to catch up with your party members. Some of those conversations we've been were very enlightening, and of course we do have a new quest for her to see if we can find her, maybe find her apprentice, if he still lives. So yes, thank you very much for watching, guys. I do hope you've enjoyed. If you did, then please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch you in the next episode of Dragon Age Origins. That's it, guys. Have a nice day. Bye bye.